For those of you who did not see my previous video, I played this audio of these clapping sounds, heard immediately after I put the recorder out. You can even hear my Jeep leaving the scene here. I don't normally listen to that part of the recording. I see the loud spike on my spectrogram from my truck rolling away, and just avoid it because it's just too loud. I usually start listening about a minute after I'm gone. As soon as I heard this clapping, I had a real good idea of what was going on. There were probably more than one of these beings in the vicinity, and one of them was communicating that the threat was going away. I also had a sinking feeling that I probably deleted hundreds of previous drive-offs where these sounds may have been heard in the past few years. I never bothered to listen to my truck driving away, and I usually just delete a file once I'm done with it to save on space. But I did have all of the audio from this past season fully intact, at least from early July on. So this video will be a compilation of this season's, what do I call these events? All clear signals, or the coast is clear signals? Anyways, I'm just going to play them here in chronological order, and we'll share some thoughts afterwards. With all the discussion regarding how these beings have been able to minimize their exposure to us for so long, these captures may serve as a small piece of evidence towards that end. To have the intellectual capacity, or more aptly stated, technical awareness, to observe me as I'm putting my recorders out and not running away when the scary human is near, watching undetected from the shadows, having the wherewithal to wait until my doors are closed and I'm pulling away before making their communication attempts with one another, not just once, but 8 different times over the summer, confirms what I've suspected all along. That is, that there's a perfectly obvious reason why we haven't been able to get definitive evidence. It's because they understand the implied threat that just being sighted by we humans causes to them. This is no ordinary intellectual jump, mind you. Run-of-the-mill large mammals of North America, like deer, bear, wolves, etc., do not have this secondary conceptual capability that we two-legged folks have. A bear will come to the edge of a road, and yes, he will be wary, but only because he's seen humans with their cars going down the road and doesn't want to be hit by a car, or be seen by a human for fear of immediate predation. See, that's the key. A bear doesn't think beyond the primary threat of the immediate situation. So what if he's seen? In his bear brain, if he can escape into the deep of the woods before the human can stop the car and pull out whatever device of malice from the trunk to impose a threat to him, problem solved. But what the bear can never wrap his brain around is the connection between being seen and the degree of danger to itself that is associated with just being sighted by a human. Case in point, look up in the Wisconsin Hunting Regulations Handbook, and you'll see there's a whole section in there on how to legally hunt and harvest a black bear. But what you won't see in the regs is a section on Sasquatch hunting season. Eyeballs by themselves don't harm bear right now, according to bear logic. And therefore, a road or a human use path is convenient for the bear to use. That is until a human comes along. Then it's time to run, or not, in some cases. This is primary threat assessment thinking. Whereas our unknown force beings, or UFBs for short I call them, not only make that implied connection, that conceptual jump, and adjust their threat assessment accordingly, they take it a step further, associating the road itself, or the human use path, or any open space for that matter, with this elevated threat. To them, human eyeballs are like laser beams. This is secondary threat assessment thinking. These all clear alerts that you heard in this video signify secondary conceptual intelligence, in my opinion. Otherwise, why not just run away when I get out of the car like any deer, wolf, or bear would? Based upon what was heard in this video, I think they even take it a step beyond avoidance of these open areas. It's something that's plainly obvious. Most don't think of the connection until it's pointed out to them. That obvious connection is evident once you consider some logical assumptions that I will lay out for you. Logical assumption number 1. There are probably multiple individuals in the vicinity, hence the need to communicate with loud sounds. Number 2. These sounds are clearly audible, which I would think comes at a measure of cost to them. Even though they are careful to wait until I'm rolling away with loud engine and closed windows to mask their alerts, it seemingly goes against their remain undetected at all cost credo. Therefore, I have to assume that there's a good reason why they do so. Number 3. They are not in sight of one another. They are spread out to the point where audible communication is necessary. Number 4. Considering point number 3, wouldn't it be safer to just keep their group together, like fawn to doe or bear cub to mama bear, relying on visual cues from the mother when threatened? Again, there must be a good reason. Which brings us to the 5th and final point. Based on logical points 1 through 4, It's likely they are spread out because having lookouts in strategic places on the clan's border and having the ability to communicate audibly over longer distances than line-of-sight limitations can offer gives them something more than does and fawns or cubs and bears have. It allows them to have tactical safety as a group. These observations are in no way going to be offered as irrefutable evidence of any kind by yours truly, but they are a step in the right direction. If you like my videos, please consider subscribing. Click on the bell to get notifications when I post a new video.